Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our family and friends updates. Fall is certainly in full swing, and as the leaves change, it is a gentle reminder of the growth and transformation happening all around us. Thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon. My name is Petronila Ndebele, and I'm the Director of Strategic Communications and Stakeholder Relations at Community Living Toronto, and I'll be facilitating today's program. And before we begin, let us acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of Indigenous peoples. We would like to acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinabek, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. We also acknowledge that we are all treaty peoples, including those who came here as settlers, as migrants either in this generation or in generations past, and those of us who came here involuntarily, particularly as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. Today, we pay tribute to the ancestors of those of African and Indigenous origin and descent. October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, a time to recognize the contributions, skills, and perspectives that people with disabilities bring to our workplaces and communities. It is also a time to renew our shared commitment to building inclusive opportunities for all. Our agenda today reflects that spirit as we hear updates on community participation supports and respite, employment services, and certainly get ready for Community Rocks 2025 and learn more about the Lawson Redevelopment Project. And of course, our Community Unplugged chat, we have a very special guest today, Jennifer Hope, Director Development and Capacity Building, Ontario Disability Employment Network. Welcome. A few quick housekeeping notes before we begin. We ask that you use the Q&A function to make a comment or ask a question. Minal Nanda will be controlling the slides, so if you are presenting today, please let you know when you want the slides to be changed. And Atam on our team, if you are facing any technical difficulties, kindly reach out to Atam. He has put his details in the chat. With that, we'll begin with an update from Community Participation Supports and Respite. And I'd like to invite Derek Fells, who is the Program Manager, to give us an update. Derek, over to you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Petronella. As she said, I am Derek Feltz. I am the program manager, among many, at the CPS and Respite team. And I'm just recently back after being away for about 10 months with our SRH program. And I get to have the great privilege of sharing some wonderful updates on our programs. If we could go to the first slide. Thank you. I am so happy that we get to share the news that Relax, Renew, Recharge has been a partnership program with Destinations Toronto. And in this partnership, we actually won a Skift Idea Award for change makers. And this is where we've been able to create a great idea with Destinations Toronto and give a intentional break for a weekend for a family. This can include things like seeing the Ripley's Aquarium, enjoying the CN Tower, dinners and transportation, all for a well-deserved break for our families who have a lot of time being spent taking care of their loved ones. So this is intended for that family member to really take their load off their feet and enjoy a great weekend. And during that time, their loved one is cared for in one of our respite locations. Our partnership, amongst the partnership of a few other agencies, CLTO contributed to 16 out of the 30 families that were supported this year. So this has been a great success, and we continue to hope to grow on this each year. So great job. And this is one of our families who decided to share their story with us. They got to have some dinner at Steam Whistle, enjoy Ripley's Aquarium, and again, get some beautiful views of the lake. And that's while their loved one received care with us in one of our respite programs. So really great news there. Our next slide speaks a little bit towards something that I know many of you have heard updates, and it's been a slow start, but we are finally open doors at McMillan, our children's respite location that is replacing our Lawson location. This past weekend, we had an open house where families were invited to walk around and tour. Some of the program staff were there to play with the kiddos while mom and dad walked through the house. And it was just beautiful weather. Neighbors came over and we got to really showcase this lovely space that we've made while we are doing our redevelopment of Lawson. If you didn't get a chance to do that tour, feel free to use that phone number or email address on the screen there and reach out. We'd be happy to show some of the great stuff that we have going on at McMillan. And if you're looking for intake, those are also great contacts for you to reach out to us. We also have our fee-for-service offerings. So look out for those experience guides, and we got our fall season up and running for our different community junction events, the mix, and virtual programs. I see karaoke on there. That sounds like a lot of fun. So hope to see you guys out and enjoying any of those things. And if you have any questions around that, our next slide is some of our CPS contact information. There we go. Feel free to reach out to that email address. We have a beautiful website for you to navigate and maybe have some of your questions answered right there and then. Or that phone number is a great way of getting in touch with anybody from the Community Participation Supports team or have any of your respite questions answered. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Derek, for that update and all the work that your team is doing. And by the way, congratulations on the Relax, Recharge and Renew award. That's exciting news. We look forward to continue welcoming families at McMillan, and please do check out and register for the wonderful activities that Derek has shared with us. Thank you so much to you and your team. We now shift gears to another event that brings our entire community together, Community Rocks, our party with a purpose. And I would like to welcome Brittany Bryan, fundraising coordinator, to share what is in store for 2025. Brittany, it is your time now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patty. I love the introduction. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so excited to be able to talk about Community Rocks, our flagship fundraising event that we do, and our party with a purpose. It will be hosted on November the 22nd at the Queen Elizabeth Theater, and I really do hope to see everyone there. Perfect. So as many of you may know, we do a number of different themes every other year. And so this year is no different. We will be doing Secret Garden, from blooms to grooves. So think tea party, think Coachella, think garden party, and come on out with the outfits that you kind of envisioned. We'd love to see you all there. Doors will open promptly at 6 p.m. And as soon as the doors open, you will be greeted with amazing food, amazing music, and just sights to see. I've seen the vision board. It's going to be incredible. Concert starts right at 8 o'clock. And back by popular demand, we will have the Dwayne Gretzky's joining us again this year. And we will be hosted by the fabulous Faye and Fluffy. They will be just bringing the house down. I'm so excited. And then as soon as the concert is over, we will be going right into our after party. Again, more music, more food, just an incredible time. All are welcome. So please come on out, bring your family, bring your friends. This is going to be an incredible time. Typically, the ages range between 30s, 40s, 50s, but honestly, it's all ages. So please feel free to bring out everyone that you see fit, and it is fully inclusive. So once you purchase your ticket, everything is included in that fee. That's including the food, that's including the drinks, that is including the entertainment, all of that, and it is fully accessible. So please come on out. Our goal this year, thank you, Manal, for jumping ahead. Our goal this year is $1 million. Okay, this is our biggest goal yet. And the money raised will be going towards our incredible services and programs, and just really the supports that is needed for people with an intellectual disability. And so some of the things that the money will be going towards, you'll see it on the screen, includes our employment services, respite care, safe and supportive housing, and specialized services, and so much more. This is a event that really does provide the necessary support that we need in order to keep our programs and supports running. And so although our primary need or our primary focus is on raising money, we are also really focused on raising awareness for the incredible work that we do at Community Living Toronto. So please feel free to share this event with your immediate network, share it amongst your family. This is something that we do need to continue to spread the news of what we're doing here. And also, I wanted to kind of highlight the fact that this year we are partnering directly with Lights. For those that may or may not know who Lights is a program of Community Living Toronto, but they focus mostly on providing independent housing for people. And a lot of the money that they're raising is going to go directly to them. So if you do have a connection to Lights as well, please come out and support. They are doing a really great job in fundraising and getting the word out as well. Perfect. So last but not least, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, join us. If you can, please, please, please join us. You can either purchase a ticket, you can donate, or you can become a sponsor. Sponsorship opportunities start as low as $1,500, and it'll get the recognition, you'll have tickets to the event, and so much more. Again, anything that you can give really means the world to us. Every dollar counts. So I encourage you to please, again, purchase a ticket, donate, or sponsor. And even now, I encourage everyone to get their cell phones out and scan the QR code that is on the screen. That'll take you directly to our Community Rocks website, where you can read a little bit more about the event. You can read a little bit more about the impact, and you can share all of the good news of what we're doing at this event. If you can't attend, again, I encourage you, share the news. You'll see our Instagram accounts, or our Instagram handles down there for Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I encourage you to please, please, please share the good news. We can't wait to see you all there. And yeah, this is going to be an amazing time. Hopefully we'll see you there. We will be adding, I think Arden might have already done it, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to contact me directly at brittany.bryan@CL Toronto, or you can contact Sylvie LeBrosse, who's our manager, or Kate Zano, who will be supporting on the sponsorship side. And with that, I will release you, but please, I hope to see you all there. Have a great day.
Thank you, Brittany. And as you said, every dollar counts. I'm sure Atam and Minal, they'll put your contact details in the chat, and Sylvia's contact details as well. Thank you for that update. We can already feel the excitement building for Community Rocks, and it is always such a special event that showcases the energy and generosity of our community, and we appreciate that. More food, more drinks, more music. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Brittany.
Absolutely.
Moving on, it is my pleasure to invite Jennifer Hope, Director of Development and Capacity Building at Ontario Disability Employment Network, and our Senior Director, Angela Bradley, for Social Enterprise and Philanthropy here at Community Living Toronto, for our Community Unplugged chat this week, and learn more about some incredible work that the network has been leading. So at this point, I would like to hand over to Angela, and Jennifer, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patty. And hello to everybody. I feel like I haven't been on one of these webinars for a long time. I've been in the background watching them, of course, but I haven't had a chance to present. So to everybody I haven't seen in a really long time, hello. It's great to see you all. And as Petronella mentioned earlier, October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, or you may have seen the acronym NDEAM, which I always want to be DREAM, but it doesn't quite work. And I'm wearing purple in celebration and to build awareness for just that. So for those who don't know, purple is the color of purple and blue, I guess, are both colors for the National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Last week, many of you may have noticed that there were a bunch of buildings and businesses that lit up purple too. We had a bit of a glow stick dance party here. If you follow our influencers online, you would have seen that. And the socials were just a sea of purple. It was so much fun to see all the bridges and buildings and businesses lit up, and even 20 Spadina and some of our other programs lit it up purple or blue. And it was all part of raising awareness for the month and the cause. A month that the Ontario Disability Employment Network, or ODIN, as it's more commonly known, has worked really hard to build bigger and better every year. And to help build that awareness, and in honor of the month, I have the pleasure of welcoming Jennifer Hope from the Ontario Disability Employment Network to share with us some great information about ODIN, the employment landscape for people with disabilities, and why our membership as Community Living Toronto is so important as part of ODIN. But before I do that, let me tell you a little bit more about Jennifer. She's the Director of Capacity Building and Development at ODIN, and is known as a very passionate advocate for disability inclusion, and a lot of fun too. With over 15 years of experience across the not-for-profit, public, and private sectors, Jenny brings deep expertise in inclusive employment strategies and collaborative capacity building. Jenny blends lived experience with professional insight to advance equity and meaningful employment opportunities for people who have a disability. Thank you for joining us today, Jenny. And now over to you so that we can learn a little bit more about your work.
Thank you. I want to make sure you can hear me okay.
All good.
Okay, because I had a tech issue earlier, so I'm also tech savvy because I've switched to another device.
You're doing great.
Thank you. So thank you so much for asking me to come here today. I really appreciate that. For anyone who needs me to describe myself, I identify as white. I have a bright white mohawk, meaning my hair has no pigment or color whatsoever. I'm wearing dark rimmed glasses, and I'm also wearing a blue shirt because it is, as Angela mentioned, National Disability Employment Awareness Month. I have quite an interesting background in developmental services, having spent close to 20 years as a job coach, program manager, and senior leader in developmental services. So it's really meaningful to be here today joining Community Living for your fireside chat. As Director of Capacity Building, I lead a team at ODIN that works collaboratively with employers, service providers, and community stakeholders to expand equitable employment opportunities for people who have a disability. My principles are really grounded in the belief that employment is more than just a job. It's a pathway to connection, to purpose, and to social inclusion. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Ontario Disability Employment Network, or ODIM for short, we were created in 2008 as a professional body of more than 140 employment service providers who are united to increase employment opportunities for people who have a disability. Our members are peppered across the province of Ontario, from every corner of the province, and they support people of all disability types. Beyond Ontario, we also have connections with organizations in all provinces and territories across Canada. We also have active corporate membership, which are employers who are working with us to advance their inclusive hiring practices at their companies. Our work is supported through 5 pillars of engagement, and that's to support our mission, essentially. We collaborate with businesses, government agencies, and community organizations to foster environments that embrace diversity and promote equity in the labor market. And we do this by strengthening the skills and the competencies of employment service providers. We help to ensure that they're equipped with the tools, the skills, and the knowledge that's needed, as well as the networks that come together to support job seekers effectively. We help to bridge the gap between employers and individuals or people who have a disability by creating pathways to meaningful employment and advancing a more inclusive economy. Through research and the promotion of best practices, we study high performers in high performing organizations, and we encourage the adoption of proven strategies across sectors. Our work also extends to families, schools, and post-secondary institutions, where we build awareness and capacity through education, training, and partnerships that support inclusive employment from an early age. And we also consult with government on policy and funding and advocating for systems change that empowers service providers and strengthens the disability employment ecosystem. By identifying these gaps in services and developing innovative solutions, we continue to drive progress towards a future where everyone who has the opportunity to contribute and succeed in the workplace. So a few facts about people who have a disability in terms of employment. As per the World Health Organization, we know that 16% of the world's population have identified as having a disability, and that's about 1.3 billion people. 27% of Canadians, or about 8 million people, have identified as having some form or some type of a disability. In Ontario, 28%, or about 4.4 million people, have identified as having a disability. Can you hear me okay? I think things froze there for a minute. Okay. So disability impacts all of us, and this is a really strong statement. It doesn't discriminate. It crosses all boundaries: race, religion, culture, and socioeconomic status. It affects all of us, and it's the one demographic that we either belong to now or will likely belong to at some point in our lives. And as actress and comedian Maysoon Zayid powerfully reminds us in this quote, people with disabilities are the largest minority and the only one that any person can join at any time. We're all only temporarily able-bodied. So really something to consider when we're having the conversation about disability inclusive employment. People who have a disability are employed at lower rates than those who do not have a disability. In 2022, the unemployment rate of Canadians between the ages of 16 and 64 who have a disability was 6.9%. This is almost 2 times higher than for the same age group without disabilities, around 3.8%. And Statistics Canada had reported that the employment rate for people who have a disability aged 16 to 64 was 65.1% versus 80.1%, so about 15% lower. So why is that? Well, there's a number of reasons why. Statistics Canada reports that things like unmet accommodations, stigma, and discrimination in the workplace. And there could also be other reasons as well, such as a person, detaching themselves from the labor market altogether due to something like an episodic disability where they experience periods of good health that's interrupted by their disability. We also know that there's an increase in mental health disabilities among youth across the country. According to Canada's Disability Inclusion Action Plan, an estimated 1.9 million people who have a disability between the ages of 15 and 64 are neither employed or in school. And of these, approximately 852,000 people have identified as having the potential to work, with the potential to work as defined as having a plan to seek employment within the next year, indicating that there's a genuine willingness and readiness for people to join the workforce. So when we speak to businesses at Odin, when we speak to businesses about hiring people who have a disability, we really emphasize that this is a skilled, educated, and ready to work talent pool that's often overlooked in the labor market. We know that people who have a disability bring a wealth of experience, qualifications, and diverse perspectives that can help to strengthen workplaces, drive innovation, and offer a powerful solution to hiring challenges that employees will face when there's a labor market that is open to hiring people. It's tight right now, as we know. And yet, despite all of this, half of business leaders believe that there still aren't enough candidates out there who identify as having a disability. According to an Accenture study, one of the key reasons for this disconnect is a lack of understanding of the scope of the talent that is available. And so to address this gap, businesses and HR professionals can work in partnership with employment service providers, like Community Living Toronto and My Job Match and others, to help fill roles since they have direct access to the disability talent pool. So what are we hoping to achieve at Odin? What we're hoping is to promote inclusive employment practices and to build partnerships and advocate for systemic change. We are working to ensure that all Ontarians who have a disability have equal access to meaningful employment by removing barriers, advocating for inclusive policies, and educating businesses on the value of a diverse workforce, and increasing the capacity of our employment service provider network to promote inclusive hiring and support job seekers of all disabilities. While Odin does not support job seekers directly, we really help to strengthen the systems and organizations that do. In 2016, Ontario's Auditor General had criticized the fragmented nature of employment supports, prompting a systemic reform. And the response was to transition all employment supports, including Ontario Works and the Ontario Disability Support Programs, or ODSP, which fall under the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services, to the Employment Ontario umbrella, so the EO umbrella, which is overseen by the Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development, known as MLITSD. This means that employment supports are now unified under Employment Ontario, which is managed by the Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development. And this streamlining is meant to simplify access for job seekers and improve service delivery. Since 2019, regional SSMs have been introduced, so service system managers. They have been introduced to oversee a performance-based employment support system, and their role is to coordinate services, improve outcomes, and to ensure accountability across regions. Toronto was the last geographical area in the province to undergo this transformation. So it has been going on for about 3 to 4 years, and Toronto has been in this process now for about 8 months. Journey to Belonging and the Integrated Employment Services together, the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services is working with the Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development to ensure that people who have disabilities can access mainstream employment services through the new IES model. And this aligns with the broader goals of the Journey to Belonging initiative, which emphasizes inclusion and person-directed supports. So why is Community Living Toronto's membership and to Odin matter? What is it that makes it so great? With all this transformation, there are challenges throughout the process and learnings that come along the way with any change. Odin had played an active role in sounding tables advocating for employment service providers during the planning and development of this transformation. And we continue to advocate for our network and the challenges that they're facing under the new system, advocating for change. So there's a number of reasons why CLT's membership to Odin really matters. And one of those would be a commitment to inclusive employment. So Community Living Toronto's membership in Odin highlights a dedication to promoting equitable job opportunities for people who have developmental disabilities. The other is access to resources and collaboration. So membership provides Community Living Toronto with valuable resources and partnerships to better support employment journeys for people who have a disability. We provide opportunities for service providers to collaborate and share their initiatives and their promising practices, to engage with each other in important conversations about what's happening in their organizations and within their region, and to connect and start new relationships, as well as to strengthen our existing collective efforts. Next month, we're hosting our annual Rethinking Disability Conference here in Toronto. We hold that each November. And this conference is designed for employment service providers and businesses from across Ontario to enhance their professional development, increase capacity, and to learn new skills to apply to their services and their inclusive hiring practices. Some great sessions lined up for this year's conference. As well, advocacy and policy influence. Odin lends provincial voice to Community Living Toronto to advocate for and influence policies to support employment services for a barrier-free workforce, and also amplifying community impact. The high-level engagement strengthens Community Living Toronto's mission and helps to amplify its positive impact within the community and the province overall. So, as Angela mentioned, October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. In 2017, Odin created a campaign called Light It Up, and that's to spotlight shine a spotlight on disability employment during October's NDEAM. And what started as a local initiative, it actually started as a conversation over a cup of tea, has grown to over 800 locations this year in its 6th year. And it's coast to coast to coast now. We're so pleased that the Yukon and Northwest Territories are part of this initiative. The third Thursday of every October, where landmarks, government buildings, service providers. I even lit up my own home, lighted up purple and blue in recognition of Disability Employment Awareness Month. And some people might ask, why do we need a whole 31 days to talk about this? Because it's an important conversation. And if we have 31 days, it's good for us to be sending out that message across our service provider network and into communities and businesses across the nation. And why is NDEAM important? It celebrates the contributions of workers who have disabilities. This campaign is another key piece to our advocacy and helps to promote disability inclusion in workplaces across Canada. And it really does align with Community Living Ontario's national, as a national movement. That's a great photo I took last year at Nathan Phillips Square. Light It Up was just last week, so it was actually great. As Angela said, everybody's LinkedIn and social pages were all lit up purple and blue, so we're really grateful that this has caught on across the country. That's my presentation for this afternoon. I'd like to thank you for having me join you today. I'm glad I was here despite my technical difficulties. I managed to make it back on another device, so that's great. You can always connect with Odin. Our information is on the screen, and we'd be more than happy to engage in any conversation with you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jenny. And those facts, every time I hear a presentation about disability employment and the stats of people, number of people who are disabled in the country and around the world, it's continues to be staggering for me. And knowing that if disability hasn't touched you directly or affected you at this point in your lifetime, it likely will. And it'll affect every aspect of your life, including your job, where you live, your recreation, everything to do with your family. It's pretty incredible. So advocating for others, even if it isn't touching you, is incredibly important. So one of the things that we find here with Community Living Toronto is that there's so many disability focused organizations, and we're members of so many of them, and we have guests that come on all the time. What makes Odin really, really unique for us to be a member of?
Well, our work is really focused on bridging the employer engagement gap for disability inclusion. So, we're valuable in opening up that pipeline between businesses. And sometimes they're reaching out to us, and if they have opportunities, we'd be connecting them with you. We know that there's a lot of employment supports that focus solely on the job seeker. So things like training and placement. Odin adds a strong component of employer education and engagement, as well as some advocacy and a voice at that provincial level.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you. I know we've used Odin as an amazing resource for us, and we will be at the conference in a couple of weeks and have some representation for My Job Match and our Social Brew initiative. We're always showing off at this event, showing some successful employment opportunities there. Now, one of the things you did emphasize is around the service agencies, and that's Community Living Toronto is a service agency. Does Odin work directly with job seekers who have a disability?
No, we do not. We work with the stakeholders who do. So those would be post-secondary service institutions or colleges, universities, what have you, as well as other service providers from other community organizations. And essentially anyone whose mission is in alignment with our own. We also engage with families and other groups, depending on projects that we're working on.
Right. Thank you. I know it's often one of the questions that we get as well. So Community Living Toronto is an employment service provider. So you can always reach out to us and get more direct information about working directly with somebody who has a disability or yourself who might have a disability. But as a service provider, and we, as you mentioned, Toronto has been the last in the catchments to transform. It's been a bit challenging for a lot of service providers to sort of navigate the new landscape and all the changes. And we've been needing to learn a lot of new skills, new approaches, new systems in order to be able to do our work. And so what training and resources are available to we might have other service providers on the call today as well, but what have you also offered that Community Living Toronto has been able to access?
So we have a suite of training programs, and we also customize our training based on what the needs are of the sector. We provide a employment services training, which is a really great starter for anyone who's new to employment services in terms of service delivery. We would discuss the service delivery model, what some of the historical parts are, and key pieces to that, passport funding, what have you. Also really focusing on how to develop a business case and how to interact and network with businesses to start that job development relationship. We also have an advanced job development training, which is for a more seasoned job developer who maybe needs to hone their skills a little bit more on how to develop a presentation to C-suite, so that the top level, senior level management of a company, because we know that the decisions start from the top, how to build your own business case so that you can go in there and advocate for your services and partnering with the services that you can provide to businesses. Excellent. We also have disability awareness and confidence training, because some of our service providers, they are supporting people of all disabilities. So that really touches on a lot of different points as well, which is valuable for the sector.
Great. Well, thank you. I know I've taken a number of your training programs as well as recommended them to other organizations, and they're always fantastic. And Community Living Toronto has really had the pleasure of being involved with Odin from the very beginning, from when you started, and really seen the growth and change and development of Odin over the years. And we're just truly grateful to have organizations like Odin on our side, helping to amplify the voice of employment service agencies. It isn't always easy when you're in the weeds doing the work day to day to also be out there doing the advocacy and trying to make permanent change across an entire province. And you really do help bring the possibilities and promise of employment for people with disabilities to the forefront. We're so grateful for that.
Oh, thank you.
And in this economy, it really does seem like a piece of the employment solution that we're all too often overlooking. We hear constantly about shortages of people in different areas of the workforce, and the challenges and the somewhat solutions that people are bringing to the table. And I agree with you. I think that it's a piece of the employment solution that we just really need to take a closer look at.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to say to folks, you may have other questions that seem like a little bit more related to employment services, or you're feeling like this is more at the agency level. We do have another speaker coming up after Jenny, who's going to talk directly about our employment services. Well, since we have a little more time, then why don't you tell us about some of the success stories that Odin's had over the years since your inception?
Sure. So our training and education is one of our success stories. We've been working since we started to strengthen and build the sector, and always growing there, depending on what people need. So I would say that is a success. We also have done a few other things over the years. So we established the Disability Employment Service Awards, or the
great.
DES
Yes.
Awards. And we established that last year was our first year in 2024. And that is to recognize excellence among members, our employment service provider members, and professionals who support people who have a disability into employment. We also are quite proud of our Business Champions League. In 2010, the late former Lieutenant Governor David C. Onley really played a catalytic role in the formation of Odin's Business Champions League, bringing together like-minded business leaders and supporting them in helping to organize, advocate, and giving a voice to inequities and inequalities that were faced by people who have a disability. His leadership and his advocacy not only transformed Odin, but it also had a profound impact on the societal attitudes towards disability inclusion. The Business Champions League became a platform for influential business leaders to promote inclusive hiring practices and to advocate for systemic change. This initiative really elevated Odin's profile and effectiveness. In driving disability employment inclusion, and of course our annual Light It Up campaign.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of working with David Onley a few times, and he was just such a strong voice, and it was so amazing for Ontario to have their first declared. We don't know if anybody else had a disability, but first declared and visibly disabled Lieutenant Governor in office for the time that he was there, and he was just such a vocal advocate. And thank you to Odin as well. For folks who don't know, there was a beautiful exhibit hosted down on the exhibition grounds. That I can't think of the name of the studio right now on the grounds, but it's at Exhibition Place, and it was about David Onley's life works and the really incredible championing that he did for people with disabilities in so many different corners of the country, but in Ontario around employment especially, and really seeing it as not only a right, but also a real hidden talent pool for people, and that, championing it is not only good for the individuals who have a disability, because, having a job obviously is, great because it's part of your full circle of life and your core friendships and relationships and all of that. But it's also really great for the economy and society and all of those really incredible things. And I think that having an advocate like Mr. Onley really, he was really able to tie it all together for everybody, and was living proof, raising a family and doing such incredible things in the province. I feel like I thought I had till 12:45, but Patty, you're telling me I just keep on going because I've got more questions.
Please continue going.
All
Continue
right.
going.
Well, Jenny and I can take all day for folks. Get a cup of tea. And as she said earlier, the Light It Up thing started over a cup of tea. So pour yourself a cup of tea. It's where all great ideas start, is a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and a good conversation. So, you also talk about the importance of membership, and we've always felt that membership of these provincial bodies that bring us all together are just so incredible. And like I said, we've enjoyed the work with Odin over the years, and we worked with Joe Dale, and we worked with Jeanette. Now you've just gotten a new CEO, Amy Widows is on board, and it's been really exciting. So, what are some other projects you've got? Have you got 2 years, 5 years out, things you're working on that we can look forward to seeing developing?
We've always got something on the go, as you know.
Never a
Right
dull
now,
moment.
never. Right now, we have a Project Search happening. So this is, if anyone's heard of Project Search, tremendous program.
Yeah, we're a Project Search
It's
site.
great. I love it. It's for those who don't know, it's a school to work transition program for youth who have developmental or intellectual disabilities. Right now, have a workforce engagement specialist. It's part of a grant that's been graciously given to the project to engage employers across the province in hiring interns who have developmental disabilities, who are in their second to last year of high school. It has actually proven to be so effective, and it's such a great program, and it's being led by Holland Bloorview Kids Rehab here out of Toronto. Also, the YSS Youth Success Strategy that we wrapped up a few years back, that was really looking at the goals and setting goals early on in terms of employment for youth who have developmental disabilities is really a key piece in making sure that people are attached to the labor market. We know that when people have been exposed to employment at a young age, it really sets them up for seeking employment after high school, and really does set them up to understand what employment is and how important it is, and the accountability they have to employers as well.
Oh, that's great.
We also do a lot of case studies. So if you're on our website and you want to know what some businesses have done in terms of disability inclusion, there's a tab on our website for case studies that give you examples of employers across the province who have either developed intentional inclusive hiring programs specifically for people who have a disability, and are actively doing it. So those case studies really tell the story about how they came to do that and some of the work that was done. As well, we have our Ontario Corporate Training Center, which is a 3-year project that's just moving to completion at the end of this year. And that has been focusing on measuring impact on inclusion of disability over time, and really focused on targeting the manufacturing, skilled trades, and hospitality and tourism sectors. So we're always working on different projects at Odin. It's never enough.
Just a little bit, just a little
Just
bit.
a
Well,
little bit, yeah.
it's really an honor as you talk about the things that you are working on, and I'm very happy to hear that we're involved with so many of them. And in Ontario, when we partnered with Odin and Holland Bloorview to found the Project Search program here in Toronto, it was just such a heartwarming kickoff, and it's been going really. I can't remember how many years we've been doing it now, but it's been so wonderful to see those young folks get out there, and we even managed to keep going during COVID. It was an interesting, challenging time, but we managed to keep it going, and it's just been fantastic. And the stories you hear from the folks, we actually had two folks who were working at our social brew after they finished at Project Search just recently, and it was so wonderful to hear their stories of working in the hospitals and getting that
Amazing.
experience, and and then graduating and moving on to the next part of their life that they chose to do in the hospitality industry. And it's pretty incredible when you think about businesses as big as a hospital and all the different opportunities that folks can have when going through a program there, that they can kind of taste it all. and decide where it is they want to go, whether it is actually in the doing something in the medical field, or whether it's going into hospitality, or whether it's going into customer service. It really, these big sort of businesses, these big institutional models like hospitals, are really such an incredible opportunity for these folks. And Erin, the founder of Project Search, I love her story. And she was a nurse in an ER in Ohio, I believe, and she looked out and thought, hey, I see a lot of folks who are using our services, right? We're caring and helping or whatever, but what are we doing to really give them that sort of hand up, or what are we doing to give back, which isn't just a Band-Aid or antibiotics or something like that, and really wanted to make a difference in their lives, and has championed it around the world now, which is so incredible.
Tremendous. I love Project Search.
Yeah, it's great. The other thing I love that you touched on is getting to kids when they're younger. And I often get choked up when I say this, but I challenge adults out there now that when you see the children out there in the world that have disabilities, and keep asking them what they want to be when they grow up. It's one of the things that we noticed, and when I talk to folks that are in the early childhood education system, they talk about how we stop asking kids who have disabilities because it seems like it's something that they worry will be out of reach, or we don't want to seem that it's impossible, and so they get shifted over into different activities, and it continues throughout their childhood into high school, where they miss the careers classes, and they miss some of the civics classes. And when you talk about inclusion, it's not just about being included in the day-to-day stuff, but it's being included in the dreaming and the future and the big stuff, right? So keep asking them what they want to be when they grow up, and it might be a firefighter or an astronaut or a pilot, or it might be they want to work at a local coffee shop and do something like that, because it takes everybody to make the world go round.
Sure does. Before I go, I just want to say, one of those, a successful labor market attachment is whether or not that person had a paid job while they were in school. So,
exactly,
just something to think about.
Well, and you think about yourself. I mean, I had my first paper route when I was 11, and and then it started from there, because once you get that taste of independence, of having your own money and doing your own thing, you want it. And you also learn what you don't want to do. I tell people often that I worked at a meat packing plant in high school so that I could go to Europe. And I clearly learned what I did not want to do for the rest of my life. But it helped me get there. So I think, Patty, I must be done
now. You're on time.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and insights, Jennifer. Really appreciate it. I know she's jumping off because she had to get to another call. And we'll be following up this presentation with Biljana from our employment services. So if your questions haven't been answered yet, there's more to come.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Biljana, as Angie's already introduced you, please, the time is yours now.
What employment services is? It is, as I mentioned, and I will repeat again because we are disconnected. So employment services is so much more than a job search program. It is a personalized, person-centered approach that helps each job seeker discover their strengths, define their goals, and build a clear path towards sustainable employment. At Employment Services, we take a holistic approach, so multidisciplinary approach. That means we don't just look at the job titles, we look at the whole person. We talk about what motivates each individual, each job seeker, what support they might need, and what kind of work environment will help them thrive. We offer one-on-one coaching, resume and interview workshops, and networking opportunities with inclusive employers through our partnership, including My Job Match. You are aware of that, right? It's been with us for the past 2.5 years, right? Almost 3 years. So we also help build essential workplace skills like communication, teamwork, and time management, so participants feel comfortable and prepared when they step into the new roles. Because at the end of the day, employment, as we all know, is empowerment. It's about gaining confidence, independence, and a strong sense of belonging in the community. Next slide, please, dear. What it means to have a job. Having a job is about so much more than earning a paycheck, right? It is about identity. It's about purpose and belonging. When we talk about employment at employment services, we talk about meaning and growth, having a reason to wake up with purpose, to set a goal for the day, and to be part of something bigger than yourself. For job seekers with disabilities, employment also means breaking barriers and redefining what is possible. A job is a chance to show the world your abilities, your creativity, and your value. And it's also about connections, meeting new people, forming friendships, learning to collaborate. These moments build confidence and open doors for new future opportunities. Every success matters. The first interview, the first shift, the first paycheck, every step forward is worth to be celebrated. Next slide, please. So how we support you, right? This slide brings everything together. It's what employment services looks like in action, actually. We start with personalized one-on-one support, helping each job seeker clarify their goals and their identify the right path forward. Then comes our resume. Interviews, confidence building workshops where participants learn how to present themselves and feel ready for real opportunities. As I mentioned, I just came from one of the workshops and I'm ecstatic with so much positive energy. The feedback was impressive. This is out of the script. It's so rewarding to see the shift of energy when the workshop participants are entering the workshop and when they leave for a break. I had a chance to be only on the first session, to hold the first session. After that, another instructor will overtake. But I have to share my enthusiasm. This is out of script. So my job match, we're very well aware about this portal. It's more than a portal. It is it's functioning not as only as a portal where actually job seekers with disabilities are matched with suitable jobs. But as well, we have two community of practice. One is job development collaborative and job placement collaborative, where over at this point around, I would say 30 members, agencies in GTA and further. We have Sarnia on west up to Sarnia, and we came very close to Ottawa as well. So my job match is there as a portal and as a community of practice for the agencies. And to go back to the employment services, we also provide ongoing coaching and skill development, because success doesn't stop when someone gets hired. We support the support continues in terms of through, and I will enclose that in the next slide, through our workshops. So next slide, please. So this is the exciting news. Our new employment service curriculum, launched last month, brings together everything job seekers need to succeed: confidence, practical tools, and ongoing support. It's built around 5 key components, 5 key areas. First is personal growth and confidence. This series of workshop help individuals recognize their strength, build resilience, and develop a successful mindset. Very important. Next series, practical job search skills. Everything from resume writing to interviews to networking. Real hands-on tool people can use right away. Workplace readiness, focusing on teamwork, communication, professionalism, and stress management, the essential soft skill employers love. The next one is motivation and inspiration, reminding everyone that challenges are part of the journey. So without challenges, we cannot be aware of our strengths, right? So, and that also reminding them that diversity and inclusion make workplace stronger. The last set of workshops are regarding career development and long-term success, encouraging participants to keep learning, set new goals, and see their career as a journey, not as a destination. This curriculum, again, is truly about empowerment, giving every participant the tools, mindset, and motivation to move forward and thrive. Our role is to bring the new curriculum to life through engaging workshops, skill build sessions, and employer meet and greet. Some of the recent topics include soft skills employers love, managing stress at the job, and confidence in communication. These sessions are hosted across multiple locations and soon online as well, to make them as accessible as possible. Each workshop is designed to be interactive, inclusive, and practical, giving job seekers the chance to learn, connect, and celebrate their growth. Together, we build space where learning feels inspiring, and truly it is. I just witnessed, and where inclusion isn't just a goal, it's the heart of everything that we do in Community Living Toronto and Employment Services as part of this organization. And at the end of the day, next slide, please. Excuse me. Why this matters. So at the end of the day, this initiative is about, again, I will mention the word empowerment, helping individuals see their value, embrace their abilities, and bring talents into workplace and truly appreciate them. And through the confidence, communication, and adaptability, participants are preparing not just for jobs, but also for lifetime success. Inclusive employment strengthens our communities and help employers see the true power of diversity. So, and we land to the last slide, I think. Excellent. So, this is a slide thanks to incredible work of marketing and Petronella's team. We have QR code. Feel free to spread the word, to spread the love, to spread the message, what we are doing. And I can tell you, honestly, we're doing with our hearts and with our brains. These are our contact information. Feel free to contact us via email, via phone, and QR code. When we talk about the QR code is actually the one that will lead you to registration form. Carla created the registration form in the code. So go there. If you are a job seeker, go there, register, see our curriculum, see what is interesting, or you are interested, you have interest to participate and to be part of the workshops. And the perfect scenario is you're welcome to every workshop as a job seeker. At the end of the day, we can guarantee that you can go with more knowledge, more confidence, and the feeling that it's not only you that you're looking for a job, right? There are many of us that are applying for a job. We've been rejected. So you are part of the community. So thank you so much for all of you. Thank you for your support. And we are here for you. Let's shine together.
Thank you, Bilen. I love the enthusiasm, I must say that. Thank you so much for that update. We appreciate all the work that you and your team are doing to promote pathways to inclusive employment. Thank you. So we have our final presentation today. We are going to have an update on Lawson Redevelopment Project, which continues to take shape and many significant milestones for our vision for inclusive housing. So I'd like to call upon Kit, who is our Senior Manager for Real Estate Insurance, to give us our final presentation for this afternoon. Kit, over to you.
Thanks, Petrolina. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Petrolina, for the introduction. My name is Kit Slurm, Senior Manager of Real Estate and Insurance. So I'm excited to share an update on the Lawson Redevelopment Project, a transformative initiative that reflects our values of love, legacy, and life. So this is a project close to our hearts, and we want to walk you through what's happening. So let's start with a little bit of background. The Lawson site is located at 1710 to 12 Ellesmere Road in Scarborough. It was jointly operated by Community Living Toronto and Toronto District School Board since 1963, and CLTO became the sole owner in 2009. Yes, we have a long history on this site. So the site is just under 5 acres, but the building had become outdated and no longer aligned with our vision. In 2021, Tridel was selected through an RFP process to partner with CLTO in redeveloping the site. And that's how the Lawson Redevelopment Project was started. Our vision for Lawson is bold and inclusive. Build an inclusive and accessible community. A place where everyone is valued, a place where everyone belongs, a place where capacity for care and connection eliminates societal stigmas. It is not just buildings or constructions. It is about creating a space that reflects our commitment to accessibility and inclusion. The redevelopment will include 5 towers ranging from 28 to 52 floors. One of these will be a rental building owned by Community Living Toronto, offering 280 suites, in which 70% of the units are market rates and 30% of the units are affordable housing. The other 4 towers will be market condominiums, totaling 1,920 units, with 20% available for families and partner agencies. We are also planning approximately 20,000 square feet of respite services, day programs, and office space on site. The site will feature a public park, community spaces, retail, coffee shop, and pubs, privately owned public space, all designed with accessibility and inclusivity in mind. Here is a closer look at the CLTO building. These renderings show how we are integrating thoughtful design to support the people we support. It is a space that will reflect our values and meet the diverse needs of our community. And here's another rendering photos of the CLTO building. So for some project updates, we have resubmitted our rezoning application and anticipate approval by spring next year. We are also exploring certifications, including Rick Hansen and Fitwell, to ensure our building and the broader development meets the high standards for accessibility and wellness. Sustainability is always a key priority for us, and we are aiming for Toronto Green Standard version 4 Tier 3 certification, which is one of the highest standard. In addition, we are planning a new round of stakeholder engagement focusing on co-design of Community Living Toronto's building, facilitated by Decanthropy, an equity design firm. On the funding side, we have secured grants and loans for pre-development from CMHC, United Way, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, City of Toronto, and the Community Forward Fund. As Derek mentioned earlier in today's meeting, the Children's Respite Program has been relocated to McMillan, and the full closure of the Lawson building is scheduled for November 2025. Construction is expected to begin in 2028, with occupancy starting in 2030. Thank you again for being here and for your continued support. The Lawson redevelopment is more than just a construction project. It is a vision for a better future built on inclusion, care, and the community. We look forward to share more updates with you going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kit, for the great updates. Indeed, we look forward to hearing more about the Lawson Vision Project, and it's great to see everything coming together. Thank you so much for that. As we wrap up today's session, I just want to thank all our presenters and everyone who joined us this afternoon. A special thank you once again to Jennifer Hope, who was with us this afternoon. We appreciate the engagement and partnership with Auden. For more conversations, please also stay tuned to our Community Chats podcast, where we bring you stories and insights from the heart of our community. We release new episodes each month on the 15th and 30th, and you can listen to our latest episode from Brandon, and I think the team will put a link in the chat. We are also pleased to share that Community Living Toronto will be featured in this week's episode of Our Community, a series from AMI Media that highlights the people, places, and organizations making life more enjoyable for Canadians with disabilities. So please tune in this Thursday at 9:30 p.m. EST on AMI TV. Thank you once again for joining us. Our next Family and Friends update is in January next year, and details will be shared closer to the date. Let's keep making a difference and have a wonderful afternoon. Take care. And once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll circulate the recording. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.